Okay, so I thought on this video I'd do 5 things I wish I knew before I hennaed my hair. So I've got a little list here that I've written to remind me. I wish I'd found something like this when I was researching henna, because I thought it was going to be a lot easier to sort out than it actually was. So, number 1, if you ever want your natural hair colour back, you really need to consider the thought that actually that probably isn't going to happen unless you want to cut your hair or really severely bleach it, and even then you're not guaranteed to get it back. I managed to fade mine quite a bit, and I did manage to bleach it out, but it just wasn't, you know, never going to be this natural colour that you can get. You know, you're never going to get that back. Then I suppose you won't get that back with dye, but it's the same situation. You know, it's a commitment. It's not something that you can, you know, do for 6 weeks and then go, actually I don't like this, I'm going to change it, because it doesn't work like that. It's a lot harder to get out than a semi-permanent. 2, likely your hair will change its texture. I know that sounds really strange, but mine went really silky. It's pretty silky now, but it's got a little bit of bleach left in the ends, but it's naturally very silky at the top. When I put the henna in, it became incredibly silky, to the point that hair bubbles just slid out, curls wouldn't take. It's a lot harder to manage than I initially thought, and it was quite irritating. I've also had other people tell me that they had the opposite effect with the henna, because henna is such a natural product. You can, depends on how you use it and how you've mixed it up, things can change, and people have said that they've had it really, and it's turned out really dry and really made their hair very brittle. So there's that to consider. 3, the colour. So you henna your hair and you think, oh yeah, this will be really lovely, but it might not actually suit your face tone. I know it didn't for me. I've got quite reddy tones in my skin. My cheeks are quite red, my nose can get quite red, and I've got patches that can get quite red, which you wouldn't notice with particularly blonde or maybe even dark hair, but when it was gingery red, it was pretty noticeable, and it kind of drew it out a bit. So that's something definitely to consider. At the end of the day, the colour of your hair that is most suited to your face tone is your natural hair colour. So, you know, going red doesn't suit everybody, so definitely something to consider. Maybe doing a semi first to see if it actually works, but even then, when you use that kind of a colour, it's hard to get out. 4, it's really messy, incredibly messy. You ruin your towels, things get stained, and you have to keep it in for a long period of time. I think I had 4-5 hours when I first did it that it had to stay in my hair for it to take, because it's not like a normal dye. It doesn't take 20 minutes, it takes a long time. I think you need at least 4 hours really, and that can be quite annoying having this. It's not like a hair colouring or a shampoo either. It's quite gritty, so it sits on your head and it can get quite dry and crusty and itchy. So it's definitely something else to consider, whether you can be bothered with that. And some people leave it in overnight as well, which just ruin your sheets. So it's just a nightmare. There's a few different brands. This is number 5. That you can get. I know Lush do one. You can go to your local, like, I don't know if in America what Whole Foods would do it, but like here we've got Herbariums in the UK, and they will stock it. You can get it, they have a big jar, and you can just get a paper bag full of it. Then usually not too bad, and like the Lush one's not too bad, but you can also get ones that come in box, like a box dye, and that's got added chemicals in. You know, it says henna, but it's got other bits in it, and you can have black henna in there as well, which people can have a really nasty allergic reaction to, or it can make you more susceptible to allergic reactions later on. And then the added chemicals can also damage your hair and make it a lot harder to get the henna out again. So this was just a little video if you were thinking about hennaing your hair. I'm not saying don't do it, just realise that it's a hell of a commitment, and if you've already got gingery hair, then I'm sure it will be lovely, or auburn or red. But if you're blonde like me, or somebody who's perhaps got darker hair, it can make things a lot harder when you want to go back to your natural hair colour. So there you go. Thanks.